What's up, Oilers fans? Thank you for tuning in to another edition of Oilersnation After Dark. Connor Halley with you here tonight. On the show, we will be joined by Gavin the Intern, who's keeping us all on track here. We've also got Liam, who will hop on shortly. Of course, if you're watching right now on Facebook, YouTube, make sure you hit that like button. If you're on Twitter, give us a retweet, tag a friend, let people know what we're doing here. It is Oilersnation After Dark, and Game 1 for the Edmonton Oilers started off fantastic. They looked great, but after 20 minutes, it went downhill, and it went downhill. I don't even want to say quick. It was just slowly getting worse and worse and worse. The Kings started to play their game. They score a late goal on the power play, force overtime, where they would eventually pick up the winner. We'll break it down throughout the show here on Oilers Nation After Dark. Like I said, if you're on YouTube and Facebook, chime in, give us your thoughts on that game. Hit that like button. We appreciate it. I can see Sean, Jessica, Travis. We've got two Travises in here actually on Facebook. Stella, looking here on YouTube, kind of the usual suspects. I see QF Pro, Matt, Dayton, Good, and you, Ravina. We've got Oilers Nation in here. Of course, they're the host. JH, some stranger. I'm looking for everyone else. Hopefully Rusty will be in here to give us some of his reckless optimism. But yeah, chime in, hit the like button, and we will continue to talk about this game. Let us know, though, very quickly here before we get going. What do you think of the refs tonight? What was your opinion on the refs in this game tonight? We'll talk about it in the good, the bad, the oily, but let us know in the chat. Let's just say out of 10. How do you think the refs did out of 10? We'll look at those as the show goes on. Right now, though, we'll start off, as we usually do, with the good, the bad, the oily, brought to you by Cornerstone Insurance. Visit cornerstoneinsurance.ca/nation to get an online tenant or condo insurance quote in just a few minutes, and use discount code NATION for an exclusive rate. Find out why Cornerstone Insurance brokers are ranked amongst the best in Alberta. The good, the bad, the oily. We bring in our good friend Liam to join us here, recapping the Oilers' 4-3 overtime loss to the LA Kings in Game 1 of their best-of-7 series. Liam, thanks for staying up tonight. How you doing?
I'm good, Connor. I wish I was a little bit better, but it's only one game, folks. It's a best of 7. The Oilers lost all 3 game ones last season when they went to the Western Conference Finals. So let's stay optimistic about all of this.
Yeah, and I don't think they've won a game 1 at home since the early 90s, so it just kind of seems like what they do. We'll get to the good, the bad, the oily for this one, and I will tell you, producer Gavin and I had a great chat going on around, the midway point of the first or second period, and we're like, oh, we got lots of good things to choose from. And that slowly changed. That's why we took a little while to get on here, because we had to redo the graphics and get to everything. But we start off with the good, and for the Edmonton Oilers, had to be the first period. I mean, they were hitting everything. They were flying around out there. They, scoring goals. They just looked like a dominant team. Leon Draisaitl and Evan Bouchard had the goals. Things were going good. They had a little bit of a lead in the shots category. It was 9-6 favoring the Edmonton Oilers. But if we have to find some good tonight, the first period, certainly it was a good start.
Yeah, it was amazing, to be honest. It was exactly what the Oilers probably wanted to do when they came out in the first period, and they got a couple of good goals in there, and it just felt like they absolutely bullied the LA Kings, and then that didn't really happen. It felt like the Kings adjusted really well in the first intermission and came out, especially guys like Victor Arvidsson and Byfield. I thought those two were phenomenal, to be honest, for the LA Kings, and Korpisalo made a ton of good saves too. But yeah, if the others could find a way to put half of that effort in that they put in the first period into the second and the third, I think we might be having a much more optimistic conversation here, Connor.
100%. It was a great start, but that doesn't really matter. You got to play a good 60 minutes or at least 40. And the Edmonton Oilers did not do that today. Credit to the Kings. They played their game, and they did a very good job of it, executed quite well in Game 1. With the good comes the bad. There's a few things we could have chosen from tonight. Undisciplined penalties comes to mind for me, and the refs are getting a lot of flack right now. I don't think the penalties called on the Oilers were terrible. If you want to say they missed some calls, I could probably get behind that a little bit, but Zach Hyman, Evander Kane taking penalties when your team has possession, that's going to kill you. Vinny Desharnais, I mean, he swung his stick and it hit skates and the player went down. I don't know how the refs don't call it. I think that in overtime, you hope they wouldn't. And at first I thought that the Kings stepped on that broken stick and fell. Upon further review, Desharnais caught him pretty cleanly, and the refs made their decision. But, I think you got to clean up those undisciplined penalties because the Kings go 2 for 6 on the power play and costly goals at costly times.
Yeah, I can see the frustration from the fan base in the sense of the Oilers didn't get another power play outside of the first period, if I'm standing correctly, right? They had that 5-on-3, and I think that was kind of it for the little bit. Like
there was the 4-on-4 as well.
There was the 4-on-4, and then that led to the 30 seconds of power play, right? That would have been their third one. So besides that, there was no clean one. But look at the penalties the Oilers are taking. I think they were all very clear-cut penalties. If you ask me, on the final one where Desharnais went to the box, I think he's more frustrated and showing his frustration that he messed it up. He fell, lost control twice, whiffed on the puck at the edge of the blue line there, and then just lost full control and ended up whacking down, I think it was Blake Lizotte. And I mean, you can't complain about that. And to like throw stuff on the ice, like whatever, like that's just dumb. And you know what? Like the Hyman one, like you said, an offensive zone penalty, no need for that, and just endless ones, really. Even the Bouchard one at the end, like you don't need to bring your stick up that high. Yeah. I think that one was, I can see why the ref called it, especially the one I did. Like he's the back judge. He just saw the stick up high. I think it was Trevor Moore again, like kind of reacted. I don't know if you fully caught him, but at the end of the day, like your stick is an inch away from riding up into that guy's cheekbone. Like you got to just keep your stick down. And it's just a couple of young defensemen who made some mistakes, and they got to tie it up in those key moments of the game. But it's a 7-game series. I think they'll be more than fine. And Bouchard overall had a good game, I guess you could say.
Yeah, I mean, the confidence looked there from Bouchard. I mean, with the puck in his hands, he looked like he was a different player out there taking shots. So we saw a spin move, just random. Like he looked confident out there. But that penalty at the end of the game, obviously, some people say it was to the shoulder. Other might say it hit the shoulder first and rode up into the face. But the call was made, and for the LA Kings, obviously worked out quite well. Lots of kind of, I would say, disagreement on the chat. Especially on YouTube here. We've got, I don't want to butcher it, APOC Hockey Fanatic. I counted 6 missed calls. Ravina says refs were fair. QF Pro, the refs were anything but fair. JP, whining about refs is such a weak take. Corb, I think you nailed it here. Oilers had the game in the bag. Yeah, you're up 2-0. You got to find a way to shut it down. They did such a good job in the 2 regular season games where they won those tight games against the LA Kings, but tonight couldn't get it done. Liam on Facebook. Liam, I don't know if this is you. Maybe a different Liam. How about the no calls? And yeah, I mean, if you want to mention a couple missed no calls, I can certainly see a case for that. But I did not think the calls that went against the Oilers were terrible. And I know the fans at the game were mad, but I think that's how it's always going to be, right?
Always. Like there's so much passion in that building tonight. You could hear it the whole game. So I can understand it from like the emotions of it all, but you don't really like to see it. But I agree. Like the missed calls, like there was the one, I think it was shortly before that, where Iafallo like grabbed Fogle and pushed him down to the ice as he was like holding him off. It's like, well, that's a hold, you know. And there was like a couple other ones too, but we'll get into it on the goals and everything. But the Oilers just gotta bear down a little bit more and play simple hockey and don't overcomplicate things in the sense of like trying to cross-check guys or trying to make a nice play off a face-off when you're in a defensive zone. Like, no, get the puck out of the zone and play defense and discipline yourselves a little bit more. And it just wasn't there for them tonight. But game 1, best of 7, and they lost it. But plenty more to play.
100%. I mean, let us know in the chat going into this series, what was your prediction? Did you have Oilers in 4 or did you have Oilers in 5, 6, 7? I mean, I think a lot of us knew this was going to be a competitive series. I thought the Kings, I mean, full marks to them in this one, down 2-0, down 3-1, just continue to play their game, clog up the middle, get pucks in deep. And, you know, we'll see how the Oilers adapt and react and what happens with the coaching staff. How do they change their game plan up just a little bit? Let's get to the Oily. And the Oily, we're going to be optimistic here. Lots of series left. I think we kind of touched on it a few times already here. It is only game 1. Obviously, we know the Oilers' history with what they have done in the past. Losing that first game, they lost last year to LA in the first game. I was in Toronto for that one after a Jays game, stayed up late to watch it. It was fun until they lost. Second series against the Flames. I mean, who was not panicking after that one?
Hmm.
We know how that series went. And then, against the Avalanche, well, let's not get into it. But lots of hockey left to be played still. A lot of people saying Oilers in 5, Oilers in 6. So we shall see what happens. But yeah, Liam, optimism, right?
I mean, we gotta be. This team has a lot. There was moments in this game the Oilers looked completely like they couldn't be beat. There was nothing the LA Kings could do when the Oilers took control of this game. And the reason LA got back into the game is because the Oilers let the refs get in their heads, started taking dumb penalties, criticizing calls, and then just not playing their own game. And then there was just, I don't know, it was a weird game because it felt like LA never really had it on the grip, but always were kind of there to reel themselves back in when they really needed to. And it was just guys like Arvidsson and Byfield. Like, it wasn't, I know Kempe scored 2 goals, but I never felt like he had a massive impact until he scored those goals, which is a crazy thing to say because he scored 2 goals in a game. But it was like the smaller guys around that made an impact. And I think for the Oilers got a lot of good performances too. I'm actually looking at guys like Nugent Hopkins and Zach Hyman to step up. I think those are 2 guys. And to be honest, I think the Kempe second goal was on Zach Hyman. I think you've got to bear down on that puck. You got to get it. He went in very weak, and he also threw a pick on Ekholm. You can't do that. You literally have a face-off coach. Surely you should know how to prepare yourselves in the face-offs. And then the overtime goal, Nugent Hopkins wasn't quick enough on the Arvidsson pressure that he came in on and took it right off his stick. And those are 2 plays from 2 veteran players that got to be better. We can sit here and look at Bouchard and Desharnais all we want, but those 2 guys who were critical for the Oilers all season, and I believe they're more than capable of obviously coming back, but that's who I'm looking at in this series to kind of come back and be optimistic about it all. The Oilers can obviously get it done.
Yeah, 100%. They've got the firepower. It's one game, lots of time left. Looking at the goaltending here, and you know what? Why don't we bring in Gavin here? Sorry, Gavin, we should have got you in here a second earlier. Gavin and I actually met, I think, for the first time 3-dimensionally today. Yeah. He brought out my my shirt.
Yeah, the Oilers shirt right behind you there.
Yeah,
looks good.
I was gonna wear it, but then I'm like, you only see kind of my shoulders up, so wearing it would be kind of useless. Yeah, you got yours on. I might have to adjust the camera one day, do a little fashion show. A Nation Gear 2023 playoff edition. They got 2 colors. They got that in black and white. The black comes with the blue font. You can get them today at nationgear.ca. Check them out on social media at Nation Gear. There's also dry settle stuff. News. There's lots of great gear. Check it out, nationgear.ca. Let's talk a little bit about the goaltending because Stuart Skinner, his name's popped up a couple of times. Chad, I think, says it very well here. Skinner needs at least one big save. I didn't see it. And we've talked about that a lot here on Oilers Nation After Dark. Stuart Skinner for a lot of the time was giving you that big save when you needed it. Tonight he saves 31 saves on 35 shots. That's .886 when it comes to save percentage. On the other side, Jonas Korpisalo had a .927 save percentage. 38 of 41. Korpisalo, we know his history and what he can do against the Edmonton Oilers. When he gets on, he can be a tough guy to beat. But Liam, thoughts on Stuart Skinner tonight? Me personally, thought a couple goals. Obviously, he'd like back.
I thought he was okay. He wasn't anything special. I think that first goal he allowed, the Kempe one, I think he probably should have had that one. The second Kempe one, I think, was a mistake by Hyman off the faceoff, to be honest. Leaving a 40-goal scorer open like that, you're giving them the maximum opportunity to score. And then, what was it? The Kopitar one, yeah, kind of snuck through him there, didn't it? You want to sneak that one in there. And then the overtime one, I mean, I hate to say this because I hate the guy, but that was just a good goal by Iafallo to snap it in quickly. But that's Nugent Hopkins has got to be better and harder on the puck. So, yeah, you probably want to see a bigger save from Stuart Skinner, but I also want to see the players in front of him make better decisions.
Yeah, and that was my big point, like right there, Liam. It's all about the guys in front of them, right? Like taking 7 minor penalties, 14 penalty minutes, like it's hard to succeed like when the team in front of you is doing that, right? So I think Stu still held his own, like to some account. Yeah, like he had a 3.48 goals against average tonight, but yeah, we're kind of missing that big save from Stu. But at the same time, like you can't take 7 penalties in a playoff game, right? You can't continually put the Kings on the man advantage, and obviously we see what happens with that.
Oh, we got some trolls. UD North breaks. Go Flames. Go LA-4. Man, the Calgary Flames. Let's not get into that one. But UD, just make sure you come back after every game. If you don't just cherry pick when you get in here. Come back after every game. We'll talk about it. We'll see what happens. It could go bad for both sides. Yeah, I mean, the 2 goals at the end of the game to tie it and then eventually win it, power play goals. So you don't want to put all the blame on Stuart Skinner on those. But yeah, and then, I think well, my TV went out. Hopefully the internet doesn't go out here as well. Liam, I think you bring a good point up. Adrian Kempe, I mean, was it Kempe? Yeah, his second goal. That shot was beautiful. Shot. I mean, that was a very nice shot, and at times you give them credit, but yeah, I'm sure Stuart Skinner will bounce back and be just fine going forward. It's Oilers Nation After Dark. I'm Connor Halley. We got Liam, Gavin the Intern here. Oilers fall to the LA Kings 4-3. Next game goes Wednesday at 8 o'clock, probably again closer to 8:20. If it goes to overtime, we'll be back on around the same time. If you are watching on YouTube, man, 209 of you there, hit that like button. We got to get at least 100 likes on Facebook. Make sure we do the same. We've got Aaron, our good friend, in the chat. Aaron Bordato, our producer. On the bright side, the overhit. Shout out to Aaron. He'll be back producing here in no time. I think he's actually going to be hosting down at Greta. So when the Oilers go down to LA, Greta's going to be having the official watch parties. And I mean, that's going to be a heck of a time. There's going to be Oilers Nation crew down there hanging out. There could be more stuff going on, but yeah, the watch parties at Greta are going to be absolutely fantastic. So if you're looking for a place to go watch the game, make sure you head down to Greta. I believe you can make your reservations online or text them. We'll get you that info in a second here because for whatever reason, I didn't print it off on my liner sheet. So we'll get that information in a second. But Greta, Google them, check them out, and make your reservations for Friday and Sunday. And Aaron Bordato will be on the mic emceeing. You guys, I can... some of the guys playing lower down in the lineup, I thought actually had pretty good games. I thought Brett Kulak, had a few rushes. I thought he broke up a few plays there.
Fogle too.
Ryan McLeod. I mean, some encouraging things. And I think you kind of mentioned it there, Liam, like Nuge, Hyman. I mean, geez, you don't want to call it Connor McDavid, but a night he had no points. It's crazy to think. I think you kind of hope that this won't become a trend, obviously, with that line of McDavid, Nuge, and Zach Hyman. Eventually a break has to go their way because it just seemed like whenever it was on Hyman's stick, it looked awkward.
Yeah, it was weird, but just on the bottom 6 to stay on the positive note of it, I guess, is I thought both the third and fourth line, or 3A, 3B, whatever you want to call them, every time they were on the ice, they were causing some havoc. I mean, Fogle and Derek Ryan had the puck in the back of the net. Neither of them counted, right? So yeah. It was just a great play by the 6 guys down there. And I thought Draisaitl's line was very good as well tonight, too. Obviously, Draisaitl had a pair of goals. One of them, I guess, wasn't on the power play. That was Bouchard. But either way, he scored 2 goals. And then that McDavid line, yeah, it was very weird. The Kings did a very good job of kind of limiting them. And I think it was the Gavrikov pairing. Was that with Matt Roy, I think he played with? I think that was the 2 who we did a good job of kind of limiting McDavid, and Gavrikov obviously was somebody a lot of teams around the league wanted, and the Kings trade acquisitions came and showed up for them. Korpisalo had a very good game, and Gavrikov did too. And yeah, the others got to find a way to create more space for themselves, I think, with McDavid. But it was interesting too that the Kings didn't really throw up the trap like they usually do. It was a lot more back and forth, a lot more offense in the favor of the Oilers tonight. And maybe the Oilers want the Kings to play the trap. Maybe that's better for them because they had a pair of wins against them this season already on the trap. So it's just an interesting game. But what did you guys think of that first goal that was disallowed that would have been the Fogle one? Do you think that was the right call? Or I feel like that's just kind of a conversation point that was quickly muted and not talked about much since.
Well, yeah, so that was the one where Fogle crashes the net. I think some people said he might have been pushed. I don't know. I think common sense tells you it was probably a goal that crossed the line. Mm-hmm. But, when you factor in potentially the push or not necessarily seeing it go in, I think it might have been tough to overturn it, especially with no goal being called on the ice. What did you think?
No, exactly what you guys were saying there. I don't see how that goal could have counted. Kind of the same thing. It's sore to see the puck won, and the fact that it wasn't called a goal on the ice, it kind of really conclusive just to overturn that goal. So like, it makes sense to why it stood as no goal.
I just can't believe there's no chip in a damn puck that would say that if that puck was over the line or not. How are we at this point in 2023 where the NHL, I'm pretty sure they have chips in the puck, but refuse to use the technology they have to them to give a decisive decision if that puck went in over the line or not. And you deal with the other stuff, the trip or not trip, the shove, whatever it was afterwards. But first you need to determine if the puck went over the line.
Sure.
Why do these refs not have a watch or anything that just buzzes when the puck goes over? Like, it should be that simple, right? Like, I feel like it's not a really hard thing for the NHL to grasp. It's just
because they have that in soccer, right?
They have it in almost every single sport. Like almost every single sport has this. Tennis has it down to the millimeter.
Yeah,
like, they've been doing it forever, and here we are. Like even curling has that thing where they put it in the middle and they do like a little trace around the outside. But here we are in the NHL where we're just looking at a video screen and being like, well, who knows if it went in? It's just absolutely wild to me that it's a playoff game. This means so much. And I don't know if the puck went in. I don't even know if Fogle was tripped or not. But the point is, we should have an answer to this in 2023 in the NHL. But saying that, we can't even stay out the damn games on time. So who really knows?
You want that VAR? You want the
I want the correct decision to be made. I just want it to be made.
I mean, and there seems to be so much resistance to it. I mean, it's crazy. You couldn't do a little wire around the outside of the puck, just inside the layer, and have that technology. Alberta FA says fans killed the game at the end. Yeah, they were pretty well lubricated. They're probably having a good time.
Yeah.
Jennifer says, oh, go ahead. What do you got, Kevin?
I just want to jump back to like the Connor McDavid discussion we just had briefly here too. Like it seemed like in the first period, that whole line was buzzing, right? Like he had that good chance, and then he drew a penalty. He drew 2 penalties within in 30 seconds, right, in the first period. So like I don't know what happened. Maybe give credit to Todd McClellan for making those like intermission adjustments on the fly. I'm not really sure, but yeah, like you guys were mentioning, McDavid in the second and third maybe didn't have that same juice, but I don't know. I guess just give credit to the coaching staff of the LA Kings.
Todd McClellan, good coach. Just quickly here, a nice little AMA travel out of town scoreboard. In case you're wondering, the Minnesota Wild just defeat the Dallas Stars 3-2 in double overtime. Earlier today, Boston knocked off Florida 3-1. The Bruins pretty good. And the Carolina Hurricanes get past the New York Islanders 2-1. Tomorrow, starting at 5 o'clock, you got the Rangers taking on the Devils at 5:30. Toronto hosts Tampa at 7:30. Vegas taking on the Winnipeg Jets. And then at 8 o'clock, Colorado takes on Seattle. That is the AMA Travel out-of-town scoreboard, an experience powered by AMA Travel. And if you want to head down to LA, go to AMA, check it out. They'll get you down there. I want to just get to a couple of the comments here. James says bad penalties, some not even called, and those that were didn't help. Blaming refs is easy to do and wrong. Pretty clear what happened in this game. I think a lot of people with you. Rory says McDavid responds big next game, as you can see there on the screen. Yeah, I mean, you got to think he's going to have a nice bounce back game.
Yeah, I don't think he came off the score sheet twice.
Yeah, not that he played bad, but just we're so used to him. 153 points on the season. Let's see here. Taylor, fans throw garbage on the ice. Ellie immediately gets a goal. What goes around comes around. I'll give the Kings a little more credit than that. They earned it.
I got a point I want to make. I've been ranting a lot in this show, and I got one more. Stop doing the damn wave when the score isn't more than 4. I saw it twice in that game. I saw it once in overtime. Enough is enough, people.
Oh, man.
I have had it up to here and higher. We need to end this now. I don't mind the wave. I agree. It brings like a good vibe to the rink, but there also needs to be good vibes on the ice. A 3-3 hockey game in the game 1 of the Stanley Cup playoffs is not the right time, people.
Yeah.
I mean, that's been a complaint. The banana. How many bananas tonight? People have actually been asking about that.
I had 3. I had 3 in the game. I was gonna have 1 in overtime, but I just kind of froze, to be honest, on my chair. I didn't really know what to do, so I just here's to the 4th.
Get it in ya. Okay, Martin on Facebook. Go Kings, Martin. Hey, you can troll all you want, but come back after every game. That is all we ask. Frank says 3-1 lead, no excuses. Should be closing this game, but this team is too dumb to control the game. Stupid plays and penalties cost them. I will agree on the stupid penalties, and that's something I've brought up a couple times throughout the season here. 2-goal leads. Ideally, you find a way to shut it down. The Oilers did a good job in the last two meetings against the Kings. It was 3-1 and 2-0 victories. But tonight, the LA Kings, with the help of the Oilers taking some penalties, find a way to get back into it. Power play goal ties it. Power play goal wins it. Words are tough right now. Liam, I see you here on YouTube as well. Screw the wave. Squishies for breakfast. Big wave people in Edmonton. Yeah, and it's kind of a new thing. Is there someone at Oilers Nation who promotes the wave during games?
Highly. She also
Definitely not
hates
me.
Kevin Shaw. So you can imagine how our relationship is. Not good.
Nope.
You guys don't say good morning in the morning?
It was, do you know what's funny, Connor? The first Oilers Nation After Dark show that me and you did together was a loss to the LA Kings. It was that one where
6-3.
there was all those fights and everything. And I remember these LA Kings fans that are in our chat right now, especially Angel Sandovala. Sorry, I know I butchered that. But I remember him, and I remember Edwin too. So I remember
Edwin too.
Come back when the Oilers beat them the last couple of times. So welcome back to the chat, boys.
As long as they hit the like button too, guys. Appreciate it.
Yeah, Angel Sandoval, hit that like button. Hey, I don't. You probably hate the Chargers, but I support one team in LA, and that's it. What else do we got going on here? 227 people in the YouTube chat. We're after midnight here, so thank you guys all for joining us here today. In case you don't know, Connor Halley, we got Liam, we got Gavin, running through these Oilers loss here. Well, something went wrong with my YouTube and I can't see the comments, so we'll just have to refresh that and get it going again. But like we've talked about a couple times, the Oilers will play again on Wednesday, game 2, trying to get back into this one. I kind of teased it earlier on. We got the watch party coming up for the road games, and Greta is the Oilers Nation official playoff party destination, hosting watch parties for every away game. You can reserve your table at gretabar.com/book or text 587-418-8507. 587-418-8507. If you want to text that number, I don't know who it is. It must be like the owner or one of the managers, or maybe they have a staff cell phone. But you could text them and make your reservations. We're giving away sweet prizes, and you'll get a chance to meet some of the Oilers Nation personalities. And I've heard there's going to be a pop-up shop. So if you want to grab a sweet shirt like that bad boy, you can definitely do that one. Rory says, Bruins fans apparently have only done the wave once for the last game in the Garden. Well, that's why they're winning. It all makes
coincidence?
sense.
I think not.
I certainly agree with you. That's just science when you look at it that way. And the amount of wins they picked up. Okay, I got my YouTube running here again. I'm going to answer a quick question. Ooh, knees on. That's my answer. Oh, there we are. Okay, Angel, he liked and subscribed. So thank you. We're all good. Stolen Meme says the last call is infuriating. Squishies for breakfast. Yeah, the last ball penalty was trash.
Why?
I mean, I don't want to. Yeah. Why? He swings his stick. He hits the skate. Yeah. The king goes down. I mean,
I'm not sure I can justify that not being a call. You know?
Yeah, I'll say at first I was totally on board. I'm like, he stepped on a broken stick. How are you going to call that? Replay showed it was Desharnais. He was pissed off, obviously.
For sure. And like I mentioned to you before we got on here, Connor, I think that's like why some of the fans kind of why they did get upset is because they see Vince and Desharnais' reaction, right? And they see how pissed off he was, and then we kind of follow suit with that. But at the same time, it's a trip. It is what it is. It sucks. Obviously, we didn't get the end result, but unlike it was our Oily, long series ahead.
I think we just got it very quickly because Ravina brings up a good point here. Let's give Kennedy a huge yay for that hype vid. Kennedy knocked it out of the park with the hype video. She nailed it. Check it out. Oilers Nation anywhere on social media. Kennedy Strash, I believe, on Twitter. I think that's where she posted it. So yeah, make sure you go check it out. Luke says that banana went down too quick. LMAO. Oh, this guy's a professional. That's what he does.
Somebody asked me today, how did it taste? And my response to that is the flavor of a banana has essentially just disappeared for me now. I don't eat them for pleasure. I eat them for
It's like
comfort.
water.
Oh, the water has more flavor.
People are saying, why did Vinny go down on that last play?
He fell.
Because he fell. Yeah. He wasn't
Yeah.
thrown down. People said there was a hold on Fogle earlier on. Okay. And that would go into what we said. If you want to say calls were missed, I'm good with that one. But to say
100%.
that the calls on the Oilers weren't good calls or,
Yes.
BS or whatever, that's where I
the point
kind
we're
of
trying to make,
disagree.
for sure.
Yeah. Anyways, we digress. We will search Vinny Desharnais on Twitter. There's some good stuff popping up right now. You can do that after the show, though, here. Also wanted to say this. The Boston Pizza Fanatics playoff menu. You can visit your local Boston Pizza to check out their new Fanatics menu, including items powered by Fanalytics. Why am I saying Fanatics? Fanalytics. Check out Boston Pizza and their new Fanalytics menu, including new items powered by Fanalytics. I think we're supposed to drop some fancy stats here for you. Oilers lost 4-3, and we'll get to some more stats later on here. I think Gavin can probably dig something up.
Yeah, I'll find something.
Tell you guys, I could go for a Boston Brute right now. It would be so good.
That's one of my go-tos there too. Definitely.
I
Pizza
get the
bread.
cheesecake from Boston Pizza quite often. Delightful stuff at Boston Pizza.
We used to go there, I'll tell you, in my early 20s, me and the crew would go to the Boston Pizza location across from West Edmonton Mall Friday, Saturday for 3 years straight. Unbelievable. Got the job done right. They took care of you. So I'm going to try to read this liner one more time. Fanalytics, powered by Boston Pizza Fanalytics. Visit your local Boston Pizza to check out their new Fanalytics menu, including new items powered by Fanalytics. Boston Pizza is the best. Okay. We'll wrap up in a couple minutes here. We're going on, what time is it now? 12:15. Just about. I think we still got a pretty good following here on YouTube. JC says Oilers will get the next one. Edwin, yeah, good game, guys. I'm subscribed. I'll be back. Edwin, welcome to the show. We'll talk about all these games here. Vinny should go 0 dark 30. I don't know. What does that mean? Disappear? Or
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know what that one means. I
think I went to school with that guy too. The name looks familiar.
I hope it was appropriate. Rory says spicy pierogi for the win. Oh yeah, absolutely. Ken on Facebook set my alarm for 4 a.m. today in the Netherlands. Tough loss, no worries at all. But they did shut down McDavid pretty well. Yeah, I think that's fair. Credit to them. Jane says, as Desharnais fell, his stick swung. He didn't choose to swing his stick when he fell. I don't think that should have been a penalty. If you unintentionally high stick someone, it's still a penalty.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't really matter. You're responsible for your stick, like it or not. So it tripped him. It is what it is.
That is the way she goes.
Yeah,
exactly.
If he wasn't 6'7", it might not have hit him.
Exactly.
Shorten that stick. We've got Edwin here. How do you see the matchup when Kevin Fiala comes back? It doesn't make it any easier for the Edmonton Oilers, of course.
Is he coming back? The speculation is that he won't be back, but
yeah, I don't think they've officially ruled him out, but who knows? At the same time.
I don't think they will. I remember last year with Victor Arvidsson, they continuously said he's day to day, he may be back, and I can't remember exactly what it was with him, but he obviously didn't return, and he returned this year, and boy oh boy did he have a positive effect on the game tonight.
Okay, we've got JH. Should they go back to 11-7?
Okay, I was thinking about this. Who do you take out? Who do you take out of that bottom six right now? 2 of them had goals disallowed.
Yeah.
And then, what was it? I thought Klim Kostin played very well physically.
Yes, I would not take Kostin. I was just going to mention that for sure.
Yeah, and then who was the other guy on that line? Oh, Janmark
and Bukestad. Yeah.
Very, very well, too. What do you do? I think
our bottom six is not the issue. In this game one, right? So 11-7, obviously it has worked for us in the past, but like you just said, Liam, who the hell do we take out of this lineup, right? Our bottom six is what was working this game, right? So I don't know if you really want to mess with that.
And another thing,
someone in the top 6.
Yeah. See you later, Hyman. Another thing too. So your 2 least experienced players in Bouchard and Deane just took penalties, which resulted in the game-tying goal and the game-winning goal. While the seventh defenseman is a Philip Broberg, who is also a rookie in the NHL. Yep. It's not like you have a Chris Russell back there who's a bit of a penalty kill specialist or go out, block some shots, play very simply. You have a guy, he even played 60 games in the NHL. I'm not 100% sure. So I just don't see that being like a positive thing, really. Like, just to have McDavid and Draisaitl play a few extra shifts, just bench someone for a shift.
Exactly.
And put Draisaitl and McDavid out there. I think that's the approach the Oilers need to go with for game 2 at least.
Yeah, I wouldn't rush to make a change in terms of the lineup for sure. Here's Johnny says, how many power plays did the Oilers have? 1 question mark. Well, they had 2 that led to an eventual 5-on-3, and then they had a shortened power play after the Kings had a power play and took a penalty. So mostly 2. Probably could have used one in the third period. Probably wouldn't have could have helped them out quite a bit here. Oh, let's scroll through here. Oilers need to hold their leads better. JC, totally agree with you on that one.
For sure.
Will Snow, I don't know what you're referring to, but you mentioned the Pat McAfee show. I'm a big fan of Pat McAfee and what they do. Good stuff there. Kyle, there was also a dive. Yeah, it's tough to keep up with the chat because it goes crazy sometimes, and it's hard to pinpoint exactly what they're referring to. But yeah, it was a interesting game tonight. Led for some great conversation here on Oilers Nation After Dark. Also, one last thing, got to get in here, and it's not going to be the last thing, but if you want to head down to any Oodle Noodle location in the city of Edmonton, we're giving away free Oilers Nation stickers to fans. Visit any Oodle Noodle location today to snag a sticker and some tasty noodles. Tomorrow, get some noodles, get a sticker. Wednesday, go to Boston Pizza, get a brute or a pizza or I don't know, a salad. I love Boston Pizza because they have everything on the menu. Whatever you want, you're going to find something there. Maybe some beer and nachos to watch the game. And then the following game, you head down to Greta and you hang out with potentially you two. I think, Gavin, you're with me on Oilers Nation After Dark on Wednesday. Liam, what's your plan for the game? On Friday.
On Friday, I actually have another Crusaders camp this weekend. So on Friday, I will be taking my scouts who are all from Calgary, Vancouver, one coming from Saskatoon. I'm going to take them out to watch the Oilers take a 2-1 lead in the series against the LA Kings after the game. After the camp.
Not bad. Megan here on Facebook says they should have put McDavid and Dry together in overtime. Actually had Quady put Wyatt said that as well. Why not put Leon up with Connor in overtime? Gavin, is that something you would have considered, or are you keeping things together in overtime?
I think hindsight 2020 now, I guess maybe we could have tried it out, but it's easy to say now for us, obviously, right? But I have this to say to everyone: everything will be okay. Okay, none of us really had the Oilers sweep in LA. I can still see us taking it in 5 or 6, but don't panic. We controlled that first period. We bring that going forward. We'll be okay. I promise.
We've got where are we here? Ken on Facebook, what are you thinking about Skinner's performance? We kind of talked about that one already. Obviously, we'd like to see him make a save or two in those crucial situations, but power play goals, one, to tie it up, one to take the lead. That's tough to always put strictly on your goaltender. We kind of said, the guys in front maybe need to be a little bit better there. But yeah, I think Stuart Skinner, sub 900 save percentage. You'd like to see some improvement there. Jane says, I figured Oilers in 5. So, hey, maybe they go on a run here and get it done. Mark says, in Woody we trust. Yeah, I think it's kind of fun to see these matchups between Woodcroft and McClellan, the protege, the master, going head-to-head in these situations. The protege won last game or last series. We'll see what happens. Leonard says next game is a must-win. That will be our final question for everyone in the chat and everyone, the Facebook chat, YouTube chat. Is Wednesday's game a must-win? What do you think, Liam?
Yes. I don't think the Oilers. I don't think the series would be done if the Oilers are on 2-0. But you don't want to leave home down 2-0, right? But saying that, wasn't it last season the Carolina Hurricanes and the New York Rangers neither team won a home game last season. I mean, hopefully the Oilers would be on the better side of that than what Carolina were at, but that game went 7 and the road team won every single game. So it's just a wild one. But the Oilers look like they are more, they should have won that game. Like they had everything in the bag and just some poor decision making from penalties to what you're doing with the puck just led to bad goals against for themselves, you know? So I think the Oilers shot themselves in the foot big time. So yes, it's a must-win game, but the series wouldn't be over if the Oilers do go down 2-0.
Gavin?
Yeah, like I'm kind of with Liam here. You don't want to obviously go to LA down 2-0, especially because LA this year at home is 26-11-4. So obviously they've shown that they can win hockey games at home. Obviously they're a good hockey team. So I obviously don't want to go to LA down 2-0. So yeah, you got to pull out this win here on Wednesday.
I will say it's not must win, but it's pretty dang close. Going down 2-0 would be tough.
Right
all
on
of
that
a
edge
sudden.
for sure.
Yeah, you're giving up. You're making it tough on yourself. So I definitely want to see more of that performance like we saw in the first period, and go from there. Gingy on Facebook says, "Do you believe McDavid will explode next game?" I think we all think he'll definitely put up some points.
Yes, he'll definitely find the score sheet.
Absolutely. Game 1, I think we got to give Anze Kopitar the player of the game. That's not even a thing we do, but 4 points for Kopitar on the Oilers side. Leon Draisaitl, 2 goals. He was doing what he had to, just kind of lurking out there, picking his spots as he does. And just very quickly, because I think it was brought up in the chat here, someone said you can't necessarily go back with McDavid and Draisaitl all the time. McDavid finished with 25 minutes, 24 seconds. Nugent-Hopkins was 24-46. Draisaitl, 20-32. So for kind of a normal night for Leon Draisaitl, they didn't get too much time to be merchants on the power play, of course. On the blue line, it was Ekholm leading the way with 26-24. Darnell Nurse just under at 26-09. Brett Kulak was actually the least used player, 16-22. Personally, I liked what he did in that game, so maybe he'll get a little bit more. But yeah, you're obviously going to go heavy with the guys who got you there. Evan Bouchard, just under 25 minutes. He had the 1 goal, showed some confidence. Just some other stats that kind of popped out to me. Hyman had 8 hits. Evander Kane 6 hits. Klim Kostin 5 hits in 9 minutes and 17 seconds. So got to keep that physicality up for sure. All right, guys. Before we wrap up, we'll keep the tradition going. We will do a Betway prediction and then a prop bet as well for Game 3 on Wednesday at 8 o'clock. Liam, what do you got?
I will go prediction, right? That's what you asked for first?
Prediction and a little prop bet for us.
Prediction, I think the Oilers will win 4-2. Actually, not 5-2 on Wednesday. I think they'll have to come out and just kind of put the dagger in the coffin early. I think they learned a harsh lesson tonight that no lead is safe in the Stanley Cup playoffs. So they won't want to see themselves go down again, obviously. And my game day prop bet would be a Leon Draisaitl 2 or more points. That guy is an absolute lock in the postseason for that. I made a shit ton of money off it last year, and I plan on doing it again.
Gavin, what do you got?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go 5-1 Oil. We're gonna put the game away early, and then I've been riding McDavid. I think he's gonna have that bounce back night. I think he's gonna score 2, so I'm gonna go McDavid 2 goals or more.
I like it. Okay, I'll take a 4-1 win with an empty netter. Man, you got to go look it back at that empty net. The Oilers had a chance to win it there. Couldn't seal it, though. The Kings, damn, they linger, man. Those Kings are lingerers. Okay, yeah, so 4-1 with an empty net. And I was going to take – you said McDavid 2 goals?
Yep.
Jeez, I'm going to scratch mine away. I had 2 points. I was not being bold enough. I'm going to say Zach Hyman gets a goal. I feel like he was a little snake bitten tonight, so I'll take Zach Hyman. Goal. Betway 19 plus. Bet responsibly when you're having some fun. Of course, there's lots of stuff you can do on there. Lots of hockey to throw some money down. But like we said, 19 plus and bet responsibly. All right, guys. Fun show tonight. A big thank you to everyone who tuned in on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. If you haven't done so yet, make sure you hit that like button on Facebook and Twitter. You can also subscribe to Oilers Nation across every form of social media: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, the website, Oilersnation.com. We've got Oilers Nation every day coming up tomorrow at noon. I don't know who's running the show. Tyler will obviously be there. Liam, you'll be there.
Sean Bell will also be there in studio again. He's did you hear the announcement, Connor? He's going to be doing all the post-game shows for us. So all the day after shows.
Oh, you said post-game. I was like, I did not hear that.
Keep
me in the loop.
We haven't kicked you off yet. You're doing too good.
Did you guys know that Sean Bell, Tom Gazzola, and I do a show on Saturday mornings?
I did. Who was the special guest you guys weren't telling everyone about? I forgot to
Burke, wasn't it? Burke?
We've had we've had Sean Burke, we've had Shane Doan, we had Carey Price, Jackie Redmond. There's been some big names. We've got a few more lined up.
Wow.
If you need anyone else to step in, I'm always available.
Oh, we'll get you in studio. Fresh. You got to bring bananas and explain the story of it. But hey, you know what? There you go. Those guys are the leaders. I just follow. You talk to Belzy and we'll make it happen. But that's going to be awesome. He's got some great insight. And it's going to be a good show tomorrow afternoon. And then we'll be back, like we said, Wednesday night. So again, thank you to everyone for tuning in tonight. Oilers fall 4-3 in overtime to the LA Kings. We'll be back on Wednesday to recap that one for Gavin, for Liam, and everyone at Oilers Nation. Thank you guys for tuning in tonight. I'm Connor Halley. We'll talk to you on Wednesday.